Anyway, another Chinese rich guy has disappeared. I don't know why. The New York Times keeps posting pro-Chinese propaganda. They do more of these articles, I'm going to start thinking they're pro-China, brother. Okay? Can you imagine writing this fucking article? I mean, they know their audience. They write this for all of the rich people that read the New York Times and go, oh my God, this is fucking terrifying. Star banker vanishes in China, stoking fears of renewed Beijing crackdown. Bao Fan is the latest businessman in China to disappear, raising concerns that the Beijing crackdown on technology and financial industries will continue. Bao Fan, a renowned investment banker in China, has disappeared and is unreachable, raising concerns that Beijing's crackdown on the country's business elite is continuing. Fuck, man. I mean, dude. In a filing to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange on Thursday, China Renaissance Holdings said it had been unable to contact Mr. Bao, the company's chairman and executive. China Renaissance said its board was unaware of any information that indicated his disappearance was tied to the company's operations. The company's share price plunged on the news, falling 28% on Friday. The disappearance of Mr. Bao, a well-connected dealmaker known for his close ties to many of the country's tech giants, including Alibaba and Tencent, seemed eerily familiar to many China watchers. Under Xi Jinping, China's president and great leader, prominent executives and billionaire businessmen from the country's private sectors have been rounded up under the banner of anti-corruption investigations. Mr. Bao worked at Credit Suisse and Morgan Stanley before starting Renaissance as China's tech sector was coming into its own. He shares many of the characteristics of businessmen who have been targeted by Beijing: Western educated, outspoken, and wealthy. Under Mr. Xi, China's once powerful and extremely wealthy private sector has been forced to show allegiance to the Communist Party. After nearly 3 years of restrictive COVID measures, the government abruptly reversed its pandemic policy, shifted the focus to revisiting China's flagging economy. In recent months, the government has changed its tune and pledged to support businesses, but the disappearance of a prominent banker has dredged up concerns about the heavy hand of Beijing and whether there will be more crackdowns in finance and tech and real estate. In 2015, one of China's wealthiest men, Guo Guangchang, the chairman of the Fosun International conglomerate, was detained under the auspices of an anti-corruption campaign. He was released after a few days and took on a lower profile than before. 2 years later, Xiao Jianhua, a Chinese-born billionaire, was taken by the Chinese police from his apartment at the Four Seasons Hotel in Hong Kong. Last year, Mr. Xiao, a financial advisor who had forged deep ties with many of China's top politicians, was sentenced to 13 years in prison after being charged with embezzlement and bribery. Jack Ma, the high-profile co-founder of Alibaba Group, also vanished from the public view for months, starting in late 2020, after he criticized the country's regulators for being too risk-averse in dealing with the country's financial system. According to Bloomberg, Kong Lin, China's Renaissance former president, has been involved in an investigation by the authorities since September. At what point is this considered pro-China propaganda and not anti-China propaganda? Because this is literally just posting Chinese dubs. It's awesome. I love whenever like American and Western outlets write scary articles about how China keeps, targeting their billionaires and millionaires and business owners. And I personally find it very funny. Whenever they write it, they're like clearly writing it from a position of criticism where they're like, it's really bad. It's really, really bad, guys. Look at what they're doing. You know what you're saying, the most people would agree, kind of sort of bordering on socialism. All I'm stating is this. We've seen how our leaders deal with, our corporate oligarchs. Okay, here. Where's the Pete Buttigieg video where he's talking about? Hold on. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Look. Can you imagine a world in which like shit like this happens, and then they come out, the transportation comes out of the gate swinging and says this.
Look, rail safety is something that has evolved a lot over the years, but there's clearly more that needs to be done because while this horrible situation has gotten a particularly high amount of attention, there are roughly 1,000 cases a year of a train derailing.
It's so much worse than you think, guys. You don't understand. So the point is, like, shit like this happens in any other country, okay? In any other country, there's at least some level of punishment. Even in America, David Sirota was talking about this, and I think it's correct. Even in America, there used to be, like, resignations that happened under the Bush administration with the FEMA director, for example, like after Katrina. Nowadays, that shit doesn't happen anymore. It's just like expected. Political polarization has firmly created these two camps where it's like, who cares? Yeah, our guy's incompetent. Fuck you. The other guy's even worse. So fuck yourself. And there's no shame. Like there is absolutely zero shame whatsoever. We just basically fucking look to the people that we vote for and assume that they have no power. In many instances, they're not expected to do anything, even if they do have the power. Probably brain rot, but even though I wish the same thing would happen in the U.S., I'm extremely skeptical when it happens in China. I think China has a pretty solid track record. I mean, do they consider statements that offend the sensibilities of the leadership of the CCP to be, punishable by law? Certainly. Okay. But you see so many instances where that are completely unimaginable in the United States of America where people do legitimately go to jail. Not only the fucking business leaders, but also membership inside of the party. Party leaders that take bribes also go to fucking jail. I mean, that's undeniable. Some other hits. I mean, yeah, China executes ex-food and drug chief. Why China jailed a billionaire entrepreneur and seized his company. Former China Huarong chairman executed after bribery conviction. Obviously, I'm not a fan of capital punishment. I'm not saying we should do that. But come on. At least prosecute and legitimately fucking bring up criminal charges for people who are routinely harming the population. China executes 14 billionaires in 8 years, Culture News reports. Donald Trump talks about how China doesn't have a drug problem, right? There's no heroin problem because Xi Jinping would kill every single person that sells drugs. Motherfucker. If the Sacklers were a Chinese family, they would have been hung from their assholes, okay? Literally down to the babies. They would have been publicly fucking murdered, okay? Shut the fuck up. The main drug dealers are still absolutely the motherfuckers that are the capital owners that get to live and breathe the free man's air every fucking day. And the people who are saying, well, these are actually people in opposition to the fucking political party in charge. You're going to sit here and tell me right now that Republican business owners being prosecuted by the Democratic Party in a similar capacity, maybe not capital punishment, but would be bad? Okay, they're political dissidents. So what? And then Democratic business owners that are also billionaires being punished by the Republican Party would be bad? No, you'd be sitting here jerking off to that idea. It is an unimaginable, insurmountable good, okay? You cannot calculate how good that would be. Reigning in corporate greed, now that doesn't sound good. Even if it was done on a partisan basis, even if it was conducted and doled out on a hyper partisan basis, you would still be an advocate for it. Okay? It's crazy. That's how desperate I am. Critiquing the government shouldn't be punishable, and joining the party by force. The Chinese government is a business owner. It's fascism. It's not good if all they're doing is criticizing the government. Yeah, I know. It's fascism. You're right. That's how fascism works. Every command economy, every centralized, every central planning economy is just a fascist. It's like the most basic. It's the most basic fucking anarchist take. Fascism is when the government does things, and the more they do things, the more fascist they are. Anyway. Supporting authoritarian crackdowns on political dissidents because they happen to be capitalists is absurd. I just gave you an example. We have the Democratic Party in charge. Let's say great leader Joseph Robinette Biden is operating in a similar capacity where the owner of Norfolk Southern is a Republican. Do you think he should be arrested for this derailment, including numerous other derailments that have happened under his watch, or not? Explain to me that right now. You don't think he should be punished? You don't think the Democratic Party's very own and the Republican Party's very own regulators should be punished or not for allowing these derailments to happen, for their lack of regulation? Because the CCP punishes his own fucking party loyalists as well. Do you think that should happen or not? What do we think? Go ahead. Tell me why that's bad. Tell me that's not. Tell me why that would be not an objective net benefit. Fuck it. Let's say a Republican's in charge. Let's say the leader of Norfolk Southern and the executives at Norfolk Southern are actually Democrats. This happens. Okay? And the Republican leadership says the Republicans that were inside of like the areas where they were supposed to be regulating this, and Democrats as well, on top of the Democrats that are in the executive board, are all going to get criminal charges for allowing this to happen. Do you think that's bad? Do you think that's objectively a bad thing? Cracking down on real failures makes sense, but this punishment is happening without any kind of train derailment or particular failure. That's not true. You're wrong about this. You're literally wrong. Their only crime is being a capitalist is not true. That's not true. You're wrong. You don't know the details. You're absolutely wrong. No, they do dish out punishments to people. They do dish out punishments to business owners, billionaires, specifically because every single business is corrupt, okay? Across the board. Corruption in the sense that, like, they do bribery, they do fucking, profit-seeking shit that you see. Whether this is the same in China, it's the same in America, okay? They're always corrupt. They're always corrupt. They're negligent, they're corrupt, they do all of this, okay? The difference is you can pick and choose, right? You can pick and choose who's doing the corruption and who you want to punish when they're doing the corruption. I'm not saying that, like, CCP party loyalists and the businesses that they fucking own are not corrupt or doing awful shit. I understand that. Okay? I do. My point is, all the businesses are corrupt. At least they're punishing people who also they mark as political dissidents. In America, all businesses are corrupt. We don't even punish the political dissidents. At this point, I've given up. I'm just looking for more of a results-based analysis here. But anyway, I am against capital punishment. I'm showing that, like, any kind of punishment, bare minimum, any kind of punishment would be good. When you're an American, then anything resembling holding capitalists accountable is authoritarian crackdown because the norm is giving them free rein to destroy the lives of millions for profit. Exactly. First paragraph explains why the ex-chief. China executes ex-food and drug chief. Like, their own fucking person. China executed the former head of its food and drug watchdog on Tuesday for approving untested medicine in exchange for cash, the strongest signal yet from Beijing that it is serious about tackling its product safety crisis. The execution of former state food and drug administration director Zheng Xiaoyu was confirmed by state television official Xinhua News Agency. During Zheng's tenure from 1998 to 2005, his agency approved 6 medicines that turned out to be fake, and the drug makers used falsified documents to apply for approvals. I don't think the punishment is fair. I don't think he should get executed. I don't think the state should execute anyone. Okay? I am against capital punishment, but I am not against punishing people even inside of your own state. So what happened? This guy is a fucking CCP guy. You think he didn't deserve to be punished? What do you think? Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me. Go ahead while this plays in the background. Oh, yeah. This was, Hassan is a dirty pre-watching Andy. Report, a balloon shot down on February 11th over Canada's Yukon territory. He's believed to have belonged to an Illinois-based hobbyist club. How many times did I fucking tell you, dude? How many times did I fucking tell you? I'm like, these balloons are so easy to blow up. They're so easy to fucking purchase and throw up there. We're just on high alert now. Oh, my God, I'm so right. Fuck. Anyway. As a Mandarin speaker, your pronunciations are somehow both kind of close and feel like a microaggression, but I think it's just your Jersey-sounding accent, Lamau. Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know how to speak Mandarin. I have no fucking clue how to read half these words. I'm throating it, okay? Yeah, please don't do Chinese. Yeah, I'm going to do it regardless, okay? Xi is like she and Xiao is like Xiao. Wait. Oh no. I just realized something. The Frigidaire, after serving me diligently for many, many years, I believe has officially died. I just opened up a new can of cold ones. Okay, I opened up cracked a new can of Diet Mountain Dew and realized that Diet Mountain Dew is fucking not cold. And immediately looked down and realized that this is done. It's broken. Official, boys. The end of an era. We got to get a new one now. Said to me in my P.O. box, it was a real game changer. I loved it. We'll have to get a new one. Shit. It's literally, no, it's not just off. It's not. It's not even off. It's on. Right. I can't even turn it off. I don't know why. The first thing that broke was the door, the fridge door. Non-repairable. Bro, it's literally $30. It's like cheaper to get a new one. It's unironically cheaper to get a new one than to try and fix this. You know what I mean? Call a tiny repairman. Yeah, people are saying Marat, but honestly, I need to call a tiny repairman because it's a tiny fridge. Anyway. Good stuff happening all around. Let's move on. Let's move on from China back to the United States of America. Breaking. At least 102 children as young as 13 were found working overnight shifts using hazardous chemicals and cleaning brisket saws at 13 plants in 8 states. The U.S. Department of Labor has fined Packer Sanitation Services $1.5 million for these egregious violations. The food sanitation company was employing children in the plants of well-known companies like Tyson Food, Cargill, Turkey Valley Farms, and more. This keeps happening in America. I don't know how. I just don't understand. This is not the first time the Labor Department has intervened over Packer Sanitation using child labor. Last year, they caught employing 31 children, and some of the kids suffered chemical burns from the corrosive cleaners they were required to use. It is clearly more profitable to continue using child labor and pay the $1.5 million fine than it is to stop using child labor, which is precisely the reason why they keep fucking using child labor. This happened last year. Illegally employing 31 children between the ages of 13 and 17, and at least 3 meatpacking plants where the PSSI is contracted to clean and sanitize. The school children worked on overnight shifts and suffered several chemical burns. From the corrosive cleaners they were required to use, most were Latino and did not speak English. Children were working 6 to 7 hours a night. Obviously, we talked about Hyundai a lot. And McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, and Chipotle have utilized it as well. Child labor law violations have increased in the U.S. with a 37% increase in the fiscal year 2022, including 688 children working in hazardous conditions, with the number likely much higher as the recorded violations stem from what was found during labor inspections. In fiscal year 2022, there were 835 cases involving child labor violations and 3,000 876 minors employed in violation of child labor laws. This is like child labor law violations that are beyond the legal child labor that America allows you to do. Since the start of the Biden administration, the Department of Labor has issued at least 38 press releases involving child labor enforcement cases. Solution: more child labor. Severe labor shortages make it hard on employers these days, and the business community has found their solution. Instead of trying to increase immigration or fund apprenticeship programs for older children and young adults, several states, including Iowa, Minnesota, Ohio, and Arkansas, are considering legislation to decrease the age and increase the hours at which children could work dangerous jobs. This is true. The children yearn for the mines. You know, that kind of shit. Ohio legislature has reintroduced a bipartisan bill this year to extend working hours for 14 and 15-year-olds with the permission from a parent or legal guardian, and called Congress to adopt the same rollbacks at the federal level. I love that, dude. We live in a perfect dystopia, dude. It's fine. Guarantee you there's kids farming for their parents right now? Yeah, of course there are. Should send everyone who thinks that we should start using child labor to a labor camp and see how they like it. I'm on board with that. I love that. As a kid who worked a job that severely violated child labor hour limits, I'm mostly for this. Yeah, it's great. I think we should do that. I think that's what we should be doing, is just more child labor. That's what we need. That's what this country really needs. All these kids are, becoming gay and stuff. Instead, their gender pronoun should be get a job. As that psychopathic woman correctly pointed out. Yeah. Anyway, great stuff. Love this. It's very cool. I'm a big fan.